injuries happened, and I was thrust into the varsity spot for a couple matches, and I won a match. I remember, I think it was 14-1. When I came off the mat, excited, expecting an attaboy from Coach Kerr, and I got yelled at for not winning 15 to nothing, team point. I said, "Wow, I'm getting yelled at, and I just won a varsity match." But I learned then that when your coach yells at you, that's when you should be okay. When they ignore you is when you should be worried. I remember that year it was a Halloween, and now Coach Joe Williams was wrestling me, and we collided heads. And I got the losing end of that. I spent my Halloween, my sophomore year, in the ER getting a CAT scan. But I was okay. I said to myself, someday I'm going to get Joe. And I believe it was Joe who was the guy in front of me who had pissed Kerr off. So Kerr asked me if I had my stuff, and I said, yes, I have my stuff in the locker. So he gave me a shot, and then history began for me. Sophomore year was a fun year in the JV. Mayor, I remember watching Mayor, who shows up here. The reason I won't say too much about him is I saw him pull a guy's arm out of the socket.
He did. He did.
I remember seeing the guy's arm was literally, two right angles, and I thought how cool it looked before they put the blanket over it. But I learned then that I better get hand control when I wrestle Mayor. That happening to me. Sophomore year ended. I wrestled with a mask for most of the year, but
Wow.
I still enjoy the sport. I was then able to see a wrestler who I thought was a god, and freshman year he was injured, so I didn't know he was even on the team, but my sophomore year I got to witness, David Popejoy as
Yeah.
he began his career on the state level, and I remember going to the CCS tournament and seeing our first state qualifiers ever in the history of the program.